This video will show you how to replace the front brake caliper on a Ford Transit-250. You'll have one of these on each side of the vehicle, located behind your front wheel. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we have to do is safely raise and support the front end of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Now after you've done that, if you have a hubcap, go ahead and remove that next. Typically you can take hold of it by hand and pull it away from the wheel. If you need to, you could use a small prying device. Just a quick inspection of that hubcap and we're going to set it aside. Now after removing that, we're going to start removing all 5 of our 21mm lug nuts so we can get the wheel off of here. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, we have a clear view of our front brakes. Let's focus on the caliper. So now as we make our way along the caliper, we're looking for the bleeder screw. If it has a bleeder screw cover, just go ahead and remove that. I like to keep these for future use. We're going to continue on with the bleeder screw. You may need to use some penetrant in this area. Let's go ahead and open this. After that, we're waiting to see a steady trickle of fluid making its way out. Now I definitely had a steady trickle of fluid making its way out of here. The next thing I have to do is make my way in the passenger compartment. We're going to press the brake pedal all the way down to the floor and hold it there with something such as a pry bar up against the pedal and the seat. That's going to help prevent brake fluid making its way down through the line as we continue on with the removal of the caliper. Perfect. Okay, plenty of fluid coming out of there. Let's just temporarily close this off. I'm just going to wipe this down so I don't get anything on my hands here as I continue on. Now we can move along to our brake flex hose. As we use our 11mm to start loosening this fitting, you may find the fitting is stuck to the brake line. Now we want to be extremely careful not to cause any damage to this. If it seems like it's twisting the line, that might cause a brake fluid restriction. You may have to replace the entire brake hose. A thorough inspection of the brake hose and fitting here. This looks like it's in good usable order. Just give it a quick wipe. We'll set that aside. After that, we're moving along to where our caliper slider pin mounting bolts are. We can see one up here, one located just below it. For the first mounting bolt, I'm going to fully remove it. A quick inspection, and I like to start it back in a couple threads while I finish removing the second mounting bolt. For each of these, I'm using a 15mm. Both of these bolts will look the same. We do not need to worry about mixing them up. If you find your caliper does not easily pull out of position, you may have to push back your caliper pistons. If that's the case, you'd want to put a rag directly over the port that you removed your flex hose from. This is going to help prevent any fluid making its way out. We'll continue on with a small pry bar. In between the caliper slot here, I'm going up against my brake rotor. Now, of course, I did divert that fluid down into my collection receptacle. Let's go ahead and remove this. We'll make sure we empty this into our collection receptacle so we can recycle this and the fluid properly. Now, since we are intending on reusing our brake pads, the next thing we'll do is remove those from the caliper bracket. Now, that's just one of the tins. That's okay. We're going to be disposing of that anyways. Let's focus on the brake pad. As far as the brake pads are concerned, a couple things to pay attention to. We want to make sure that they're not worn at an angle or damaged in any way. Aside from that, we also want to make sure that we know which pad position this was in. We want to have the inboard pad on the inboard side during the installation. So just take quick note of where the pads go as you continue on with the removal. Let's get this one out of here. Just another one of those tins. There's our brake pad. This looks good. Now it's time to remove the brake caliper next. As far as the caliper removal, you're going to find along the inboard side, you have two 21mm mounting bolts. Now you know what to do. Let's go ahead and fully remove the first one here. Just a quick inspection. We're going to start it back in a couple threads. Both of these bolts will look the same and we are reusing them. Start at the top here. Take hold of that caliper bracket. Let's slide this off of here. And there it is, friend. Let's pause over at the vehicle. We're making our way to the bench with the brand new caliper. Let's prepare this for installation. The first thing we're going to do is focus on our two caliper slider pin bolts. Go ahead and remove the pair so we can remove the caliper from the bracket. Using a 15mm for these. Of course, those bolts will be brand new. Remove the caliper from the bracket. We're going to set the caliper aside and focus on just the bracket for now. Let's start by removing our two slider pins from their corresponding ports. During the removal, you want to be careful not to mix them up. One of them will have a rubber vibration dampener. Now I'm just using a small pocket screwdriver so I can start pulling the boot away from my slider pin. Obviously, we don't want to cause any damage. Now that I have that removed, let's just go ahead and wipe this down. We'll give it a close inspection here. You can tell on this slider pin, it has the vibration dampener that I had mentioned. I also had some assembly lubricant. I like to remove that and reapply high temperature caliper lubricant. When I'm lubricating my slider pins, I lubricate the entire smooth area here all the way down to the very tip. Once I've done that, make your way all the way up to this area where my fingers are. There's a small groove where that boot would sit. We want to add lubricant in this area. It's going to help keep moisture and debris out. Now let's just go ahead and take that slider pin. We're going to slide it all the way into this caliper bracket. Remove any air from inside of the boot and we'll just give this a gentle twist. We're trying to work in that lubricant. After completing one, just go ahead and do the exact same thing to the other. Just as I mentioned, the other one does not have a vibration dampener. High temperature caliper lubricant all the way down to the tip and up into the groove. Slide it into position, remove any air from the boot, and a quick twist. Now after that, we're going to focus on the caliper bracket where our caliper bracket tins and brake pads would be. You're going to find on each side of the caliper bracket there's two areas that we're going to be using high temperature caliper lubricant. We'll just go ahead and add a thin layer along each of these two areas on each side of the bracket. So now we're focusing on our brand new caliper bracket tins. It's important to pay attention to each of them. You're going to find in the kit it came with 4 tins. 2 of them look different than the other 2. Basically, you're going to find that one side of the tins have an area that protrude out towards the side. It's important to pay special attention to these. We need to make sure we have them facing out and away from the center of the bracket where the brake rotor would go. Let's just go ahead and line this up with the bracket. We're going to press it in. Listen for an audible click from that and give it a light tug. We're confirming it is secured. It does not fall off. Go ahead and repeat the process for all others. Now we can set this aside. Let's focus on the other portion of the caliper. Now, as far as this portion of the caliper, we're going to be focusing on the inside area here where we can see our 2 caliper pistons. We're going to be adding high temperature lubricant to each of these 2 caliper pistons. After adding lubricant to those 2 areas, let's go ahead and have a quick look at the other side here. We're going to add lubricant along these 3 ears, essentially in all the areas that touch up against our brake pads. Let's get over to the vehicle. Let's install that caliper bracket. As far as the caliper bracket's concerned, we're going to start in each of our 2 21mm headed mounting bolts. We'll bottom them out. The torque for each of these will be 203 foot-pounds. After confirming that that's properly secured in place, it's time for our brake pads. Now, as I mentioned during the removal process, if you're intending on reusing the brake pads, we've already inspected them, but we also need to make sure they're in the proper orientation. I can tell that I do have 2 areas here that are marked where my pistons were. I know that this is my inboard pad. Now, to get this in place, I'm coming in at an angle. Now I'm going to roll it in. After it's seated up against the brake rotor, just give it a quick wiggle. We want to make sure it can move around. It should not have to be hammered into place. Let's move along to the outer brake pad. Same process. We're bringing the caliper into place, bringing it over each one of our 2 brake pads. You may have to press in on your brake caliper slider pins to slide the caliper over the bracket. Continue on with your 2 slider pin mounting bolts. We'll bottom them out, torque each of those to 44 foot-pounds. Let's move along to our brake flex hose next. On your brand new caliper, it should come with a protective plug. You're going to want to remove that. You can dispose of it properly. Now, when we go to get our brake flex hose in position, we have 1 locating tab. That needs to be in the proper positioning here. We're just going to line this up with the caliper, and now we can start in that fitting. Once you feel as though you do have that started in, go ahead and bottom it out. Make sure it's nice and snug. Now, once you feel as though you have that properly secured in place, it should not move around. We just want to double check to make sure we have not twisted our brake flex hose in a way that might restrict brake fluid flow. This looks good, so let's continue on at our bleeder screw. As far as this bleeder screw is concerned, we'll remove our bleeder screw cover. We'll set that aside. We will be using that. Now, at this point, you want to make your way back inside the passenger compartment. Remove the brake pedal depressor. After that, you're coming back out here. We're going to open this up and we're going to perform a gravity bleed. I've removed that pedal depressor. 10mm wrench should open up this bleeder screw for us. And now we wait. Now at this point, I can see that I have a steady trickle of fluid making its way out of here. We want to continue letting this run out until we see no more air bubbles making their way out. We want to have only clean brake fluid. This looks good. Once you feel as though you've completed that action, let's go ahead and close that bleeder screw and clean any mess in this area. Now, after you've completed that, the next thing we want to do is make our way inside the passenger compartment. We want to pump up the brake pedal until it feels firm. Now, if the brake pedal felt squishy or sinks to the floor, you might still have air trapped in the system. If that's the case, you want to continue on with a manual brake bleed. Whenever I do those, I make sure I bleed all my brakes. Assuming it's good, go ahead and clean any mess in this area and reinstall your bleeder screw cover. Once you have your wheel in place, continue on to all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts. We're going to bottom them out in a crisscross manner. Now I've got the wheel back on the ground. Let's go ahead and torque these lug nuts to that 148 foot-pounds in a crisscross manner. Torqued. If you have a hubcap, install that now. To install the hubcap, there's one area that we want to pay special attention to on the rim. You're going to find you have a valve stem. Now, if you were to look at the hubcap, you're going to find on one of the large slots, there's a special area for that valve stem to fit into. Let's make sure we align this in the proper placement and we'll tap it in. Double check to make sure it's completely seated all the way around. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. Now the next thing we have to do is make our way into the engine compartment. You want to make sure you top off your brake fluid with clean .4 brake fluid. Now, as far as this is concerned, we're going to make sure that we remove the cap. We'll just give this a quick inspection, make sure the seal is in good usable order. At this point, we want to remove all the fluid from inside of the master cylinder reservoir and replace it with clean .4 brake fluid. Now, as we attempt to fill this, looking along the side of the master cylinder reservoir, we can see that there's a minimum spot here. And then as we make our way up towards the fill neck of this, you can see the maximum line. Let's fill this up to the maximum line so we can start our bleeding process. Now we have our .4 brake fluid. There we are. We'll just reinstall this cover so we're sure nothing makes its way inside of the braking system as we continue on. Now at this point, we're going to start bleeding the brakes. We're starting at the passenger side rear. We'll bleed that caliper. After that, I'm going to go over to the driver's side. I'll repeat that exact same process. Once I've done that, I'm going to be meeting you back at the master cylinder. We're going to make sure we top it off up to that maximum line. After we've completed topping off the master cylinder, we're at the passenger side front. We'll bleed the brake there, and then I'm going over to the driver's side to repeat that exact same process. In the end, we'll be back up here so we can top it off one last time. Now I'm at the passenger side rear so I can start the bleeding process. I have a second person inside of the passenger compartment. Now that person is going to pump up the brake pedal for me approximately 3 to 5 times. They're going to hold it and let me know. When they do so, I'm going to be opening up my bleeder screw. We're waiting to see a steady trickle of fluid making its way out with no air bubbles. We're going to repeat this process until we only see clean fluid with no air. Since I do have a bleeder screw cover, I'm going to remove that. Just a quick inspection and I'll set it aside. Go ahead and pump up that brake pedal, please. Now while they're holding it, as I mentioned, I'm just going to open this. We have our collection receptacle under here. Go ahead and pump, please. Now I did see a couple air bubbles there, so we're just going to repeat that process. Go ahead and pump, please. That one looked good. Let's do it one more time here to confirm. Go ahead and pump. Perfect. You can release, thank you. Now that I've confirmed that I have only clean brake fluid making its way out, no dirty fluid, and definitely no air bubbles, I'm going to clean up all the mess in this area. After I've completed that, I'm going over to the other side of the vehicle, to the other rear caliper. I'm going to complete this exact same bleeding process. After I've completed that, I'm meeting you at that master cylinder so we can top it off. Make sure this is nice and clean so we can double check for leaks in the end. Now back at our master cylinder, we're going to make sure that we top this off up to that maximum line we had discussed. Let's make sure we protect this area. We'll continue on to our next 2 brakes, starting at the right front. Now from the master cylinder, we're at the passenger side front caliper. We're going to bleed this brake as well. Go ahead and pump up that brake pedal, please. Go ahead and pump. Okay, as you can tell, I had only clean, brand new brake fluid making its way out, no air bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my mess in this area. After that, I'm going over to the driver's side front caliper. I need to repeat this exact same process. After you've done both front calipers, go ahead and make your way back to the master cylinder. You're going to top it off one last time. Okay, so they're all bled. We're at the master cylinder. Just go ahead and remove that cap. We're topping this off up to the maximum line just like we did before with our clean .4 brake fluid. There we are. Right up to my line. It's exactly where I want to be. Make sure you reinstall the cap and make sure it's secure so no moisture or debris make its way inside of the braking system. Okay friend, we finished bleeding the brakes. Now the next thing we want to do is just double check for leaks. After that, reinstall all the wheels, torque all of your lug nuts to 148 foot-pounds, and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.